Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. If you're passionate about rare coins or just curious about the hidden treasures in your pocket change, you're in for a real treat today. In this video, we're going to explore the history, rarity, and potential value of one of the most fascinating coins in U.S. history, the 1949 Lincoln penny. While most of these pennies are worth only a few cents, some have sold for astronomical amounts, with one reaching a remarkable $1.9 million. Stick around to find out why this penny could be worth more than you ever imagined. Rarest coins. The history of the 1949 Lincoln penny. To understand why the 1949 Lincoln penny is so valuable, we first need to look at the history behind the coin. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909 and is one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, and the obverse features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse initially depicted two stalks of wheat. This design continued until 1959 when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. In 1949, the United States was still in the post-war era, and the economy was recovering. The mint was focused on producing coins for regular circulation, with the Lincoln cent being one of the most widely used. During this time, pennies were primarily made from 95% copper and 5% tin and ink, which was the standard composition. However, the 1949 Lincoln penny didn't have the same mass production appeal as other years, and this is one reason why certain varieties of this coin have become so sought after today. What makes the 1949 Lincoln penny so special? The 1949 Lincoln penny is not particularly rare on its own, but certain varieties of this coin have become some of the most valuable on the market. In particular, error coins from 1949, especially those with die errors, have caught the attention of collectors. One of the most notable varieties of the 1949 penny is the 1949 S/D penny. The 1949 S/D penny is an error coin that occurred when the mint accidentally used a die that was previously used to strike the 1949 D penny. The result was a 1949 S penny that has a subtle, but noticeable, D mint mark visible beneath the S mint mark on the reverse of the coin. This error makes the coin incredibly rare, and when found in high grades, it can be worth a significant amount of money. In fact, some of these 1949 S/D pennies have sold for incredible sums at auction, with one reaching a record-breaking $1.9 million. This type of error is considered one of the most valuable in Lincoln cent history, and it's become a holy grail for collectors. But even without this specific error, the 1949 penny is still worth more than most people think, especially if it's in mint condition or has unique characteristics. How to identify a valuable 1949 Lincoln penny? If you have a 1949 Lincoln penny and want to know if it could be one of these valuable varieties, there are a few key things to look for. 1. Check the mint mark. The first step is to look for the mint mark, which is located on the reverse side of the coin, just beneath the year. A 1949 S/D penny will have both an S mint mark and a faint D mint mark directly beneath it. The D mint mark is usually very subtle, so you may need a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to spot it. 2. Inspect the condition. The value of a 1949 Lincoln penny increases dramatically with its condition. Coins in mint state, meaning they have no visible wear or damage, can be worth much more than those that are worn or heavily circulated. The highest-priced 1949 S/D pennies have been graded as MS65 or higher, which means they have been preserved in near-perfect condition. 3. Look for other errors. While the 1949 S/D penny is the most famous error from this year, other die errors or imperfections in the minting process can also increase the coin's value. For example, some 1949 pennies have been found with double die errors, where the design appears to be slightly doubled. These types of errors are less common but can still add to the value of the coin. 4. Check for the right mint. Be sure to note the mint mark on your coin. The 1949 penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most of the 1949 pennies were made at the Philadelphia Mint and do not have a mint mark, but the 1949D and 1949S varieties are more interesting to collectors. The 1949S variety is often more valuable, especially if it's in good condition or if it has a die error. How much is a 1949 Lincoln penny worth? Now that we know what makes the 1949 Lincoln penny so special, let's break down the value of these coins. While most 1949 pennies are worth just 1 cent if they are heavily worn and circulated, certain varieties and error coins can be worth a lot more. Here's a general guide to the value. Standard 1949 penny. If your 1949 penny is in average circulated condition, it's typically worth about 1 cent. 1949S penny. A regular 1949S penny in good condition may be worth around $1 to $5, but if it's in mint state, it could be worth significantly more, up to $100 or more. 1949S over D penny. This is where the real value lies. A 1949S over D penny, especially in high-grade condition, can be worth thousands of dollars. The highest-priced examples have sold for as much as $1.9 million, though most of them are in the $100,000 to $500,000 range, depending on the condition and rarity. Other error coins. Other error coins from 1949, such as those with double die or misplaced mint marks, can also be valuable, but these typically sell for a few hundred to a few $1,000s. How to sell your 1949 Lincoln penny. If you believe you have a valuable 1949 Lincoln penny, especially one of the rare error coins, here's how you can go about selling it. 1. Get your coin graded. Before selling, it's a good idea to have your coin professionally graded by a reputable service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. These services will assess the coin's authenticity, grade, and condition, which will help you determine its value. 2. Research the market. Coin prices can fluctuate, so it's important to check recent auction results and online sales to see what similar coins have been selling for. This will give you a better idea of the current market value. 3. Sell through auctions. High-value coins like the 1949S over D penny often do well in coin auctions, either through online platforms like eBay or through major auction houses that specialize in rare coins. Public auctions often attract serious collectors who are willing to pay top dollar. 4. Consider a coin dealer. If you prefer to sell privately, you can reach out to a reputable coin dealer who specializes in rare coins. Be sure to get multiple appraisals and compare offers to ensure you get the best price. Conclusion. The 1949 Lincoln penny may seem like just another ordinary coin, but as we've discovered today, it holds the potential to be worth far more than its face value. Whether it's a 1949S over D penny with the rare die error or a high-grade 1949S penny, some of these coins can sell for incredible amounts, even reaching $1.9 million. If you have a 1949 penny in your collection, it's worth taking a closer look to see if it could be one of these valuable rarities. Before you head off to check your spare change, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more tips on rare coins, and leave a comment below if you've ever found a coin that turned out to be worth more than you expected. Thanks for watching, and good luck hunting for those rare treasures. End of video. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. If you're a coin enthusiast or just curious about valuable coins, you're in for a treat today. In this video, we're diving into the history and value of one of America's most iconic coins, of the 1981 Lincoln penny. This small but mighty coin has a fascinating backstory and could be worth a lot more than you think. In fact, some of these pennies are worth over $1.2 million. Stick around to learn all the details. The history of the 1981 Lincoln penny. First, let's talk about the history of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909, and it is one of the most recognized coins in the world. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin features President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and a simple but elegant wheat sheaf on the reverse. at least until the 1959 redesign. By 1981, the penny had undergone various changes, with the biggest transformation occurring in 1959, when the reverse design was updated to feature the Lincoln Memorial. This change was significant because it made the coin feel more relevant to modern Americans, commemorating one of the most famous landmarks in the country. The 1981 penny, specifically, was minted as 3 different facilities: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced these coins for regular circulation, while the San Francisco Mint primarily produced proof coins, which were made for collectors and are usually of higher quality than regular circulation coins. What makes the 1981 Lincoln penny so special? Now, you're probably wondering, why is a 1981 penny worth so much money? Well, there are a few key factors that determine its value. First, we need to talk about rarity. Generally speaking, the 1981 penny isn't rare. However, there are certain error coins from that year that could be worth a small fortune. One of the most valuable varieties is the double-die penny. These are pennies where the design was struck multiple times, leading to a noticeable doubling of the image. Double-die pennies are highly sought after by collectors because they are incredibly rare and represent a unique mistake in the minting process. The most famous of those error coins comes from a 1981 copper penny, which features a double-die obverse, the front of the coin. These pennies can fetch a staggering price, sometimes up to $1.2 million, depending on the quality of the coin, the error type, and the market demand. Even pennies with minor errors, like doubled letters or numbers, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. How to identify a valuable 1981 Lincoln penny? So, how can you tell if you have one of those error coins? It's all about closely examining the details of your penny. Here's what to look for. 1. Look at the date and inscriptions. If you notice any doubling in the numbers or lettering, you might have a double-die penny. 2. Examine the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Check the details carefully, as doubling can also occur here. 3. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. The doubling might be subtle, so a magnifying tool will help you identify it. 4. Check the weight. If the penny seems unusually heavy, it could be a sign that it's made from the old copper composition, which ended in 1982. If you spot any of these characteristics, your penny could be worth far more than its face value. How much is a 1981 Lincoln penny worth? Now, let's get down to the million-dollar question. How much is the 1981 penny really worth? For the most part, a standard 1981 penny in good condition is worth only 1 cent. However, if you happen to find a rare error, like a double die or a penny made from the pre-1982 copper composition, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Here's a quick breakdown. A typical 1981 penny without any errors, 1 cent. A 1981 penny with minor errors, like doubling, $50, $100. A rare 1981 double-die penny. Prices can range from $1,000 to over $1.2 million depending on the coin's quality, error, and demand. The higher-end sales, like the $1.2 million, are usually for well-preserved, high-quality coins in top condition with the significant and easily noticeable error. How to sell your 1981 Lincoln penny? If you think you have a valuable 1981 penny on your hands, the next step is selling it. Here are a few tips. 1. Get your coin professionally graded. A reputable grading service, like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, can help you assess its quality and authenticate the error. 2. Find the right buyer. Look for a coin dealer or auction house that specializes in rare coins. Sometimes, high-value coins are best sold at public auction, where collectors can bid up the price. 3. Check recent sales records. Do some research on auction websites or coin sales to see what similar coins have sold for recently. This can help you set a fair price. Conclusion: the 1981 Lincoln penny may seem like just another small copper coin, But as we've seen today, it has the potential to be worth a lot more than its face value, especially if it's an error coin. Whether it's a double die penny or a rare copper composition penny, if you have one of these valuable coins in your collection, you could be holding onto something worth up to $1.2 million. Before you rush off to check your penny jar, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more coin tips, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare or valuable coin. We'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and good luck hunting for those rare pennies. End of video. Hello, coin enthusiasts, and welcome back to the channel. If you love collecting rare and valuable coins, or you're just interested in discovering hidden treasures in your pocket change, then you're in for a real treat today. In this video, we'll be diving deep into the history, rarity, and potential value of a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance but could be worth an incredible $1.50 million, the 1969 Lincoln penny. Stick around as we break down the details behind this fascinating coin and reveal why some of these pennies are worth a fortune. The history of the 1969 Lincoln penny. To understand why the 1969 Lincoln penny is so valuable, it's important to first understand the history behind the coin. The Lincoln cent, which has been in circulation since 1909, was designed by Victor David Brenner, and it features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with the reverse originally depicting two stalks of wheat. This wheat design remained until 1959, when the reverse was changed to feature the iconic Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. In 1969, the Lincoln cent was still made from the 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc composition, which was typical of the time. The 1969 penny was minted at the Denver Mint, and it was produced in the usual quantities to meet the demands of circulation. However, in 1969, the U.S. Mint made a significant error during production that would lead to the creation of one of the most sought-after error coins in U.S. history. What makes the 1969 Lincoln penny so special? The 1969 Lincoln penny is not rare in itself. In fact, the vast majority of those pennies are worth just 1 cent. However, the real value comes from a specific error variety that has made this coin a key target for collectors. The error in question is the 1969 double die obverse penny, and it is one of the most famous error coins in U.S. coinage. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck more than once, but the second strike is slightly misaligned with the first. This causes the image or lettering on the coin to appear doubled. In the case of the 1969 Lincoln penny, the most notable error occurred on the obverse, where the Liberty inscription and the In God We Trust motto appear doubled. This doubling is very subtle and can be difficult to spot with the naked eye, but once you know what to look for, the doubling is unmistakable. This 1969 double die penny is particularly valuable because only a small number of these error coins were produced, and they are extremely difficult to find. The 1969 is the most famous double die error because it's one of the most dramatic and well-known examples of this type of mistake, and it has captured the attention of coin collectors and investors around the world. How to identify a valuable 1969 Lincoln penny. If you think you might have a valuable 1969 Lincoln penny with a famous double die error, there are a few key things to look for. 1. Look for doubling on the obverse. The most obvious indicator of a double die error is the doubling of the design on the obverse of the coin. The Liberty inscription and the In God We Trust motto will appear doubled. The doubling is usually noticeable on the bottom of the letters, but it can also appear on the tops and sides. 2. Check the mint mark. The 1969 penny has a D mint mark located beneath the date. This is important because the error we're talking about specifically occurred on 1969 pennies. If your penny doesn't have a D mint mark, it's not part of this valuable error series. 3. Use magnification, because the doubling can be subtle. You may need to use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to clearly identify the error. A high-powered magnifier will allow you to spot the doubling on the letters of liberty and the words "In God We Trust" more easily. 4. Inspect the condition. The value of the 1969D double die penny also depends on the condition of the coin. As with most collectible coins, higher quality examples are worth much more. If your penny is in mint state with no visible wear, it will be worth far more than a heavily circulated coin. How much is a 1969D Lincoln penny worth? Now, let's get to the most important question. How much is the 1969D Lincoln penny worth? The value of the coin can vary significantly depending on its condition and whether it has the double die error. Standard 1969D penny. If your 1969D penny is in typical circulated condition, it's only worth its face value of 1 cent. However, if it's in good to uncirculated condition, it could be worth a few dollars to collectors, depending on its grade. 1969D double die obverse penny. If you have one of the 1969D double die obverse pennies, the value jumps significantly. These error coins can be worth anywhere from several $1,000s to over $100,000 depending on their condition. The highest priced examples, especially those graded MS65 or higher, have sold for $1.5 million at auction. Condition matters. The most valuable 1969D double die pennies are those in pristine condition. Coins that have been graded as MS65 or higher, meaning they have minimal wear and are almost flawless, can reach astronomical prices. Coins in lower grades may still fetch thousands of dollars, but they won't come close to the record-setting prices. How to sell your 1969D Lincoln penny. If you've discovered that your 1969D Lincoln penny is one of these rare, error-filled gems, you may want to sell it and make a significant profit. Here are some tips for selling your valuable penny. 1. Get your coin professionally graded. Before selling your coin, it's essential to have it professionally graded by a trusted grading service, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. Grading will assess the coin's authenticity and condition, which can drastically affect its market value. 2. Sell through auctions. The best way to maximize the price of your 1969D double die penny is to sell it at auction, either through a major coin auction house or online platforms like eBay. High-value coins often perform well in public auctions, where collectors are willing to bid aggressively. 3. Consider a coin dealer. If you want to sell your penny quickly, a reputable coin dealer who specializes in rare coins may be a good option. Just make sure to get multiple appraisals to ensure you are getting a fair price. 4. Stay informed on market trends. The value of rare coins can fluctuate depending on demand and market conditions. Keep an eye on recent sales records and current trends within the coin collecting community to ensure you're selling at the right time. Conclusion. The 1969D Lincoln penny is a coin that many people overlook, but as we've learned today, it holds incredible value, especially if it has the double die obverse error. Whether you've found one of these coins in your collection or you're just learning about them now, it's clear that the 1969D double die penny is a true treasure that could be worth as much as $1.5 million. Before you head off to search through your pocket change, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more coin tips, and let me know in the comments if you've ever come across a rare or valuable coin. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting. End of video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're someone who loves collecting rare coins, or if you're just curious about finding hidden treasures in your pocket change, then you're in the right place. Today, we're going to take a closer look at the 1978D Lincoln penny, a coin that you might think is common, but in certain conditions, it could be worth a small fortune, even up to $1.3 million. Stick with us as we dive into its history, value, and what makes this particular penny so special. The history of the 1978 Lincoln penny. Before we dive into the details of its value, let's take a step back and look at the history of the 1978 Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent has been part of U.S. currency since 1909 and has had several design changes over the years. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the penny initially featured a wheat stalk design on the reverse until 1959. In 1959, the wheat stalks were replaced with the Lincoln Memorial, which was designed by Frank Gasparo. By 1978, the Lincoln cent was still being produced with the familiar design, but there was a change in the way coins were being produced. The 1978 penny, minted in Denver, was part of the regular production run of pennies and didn't seem too special at first glance. However, as we'll see, certain examples of the 1978 penny have become extremely valuable. At this time, the United States was still in the midst of a significant coinage transition, moving away from older designs and making adjustments to the way coins were produced to meet the demands of an ever-growing economy. This meant there were plenty of coins being minted and circulated, with some eventually being tucked away in collections. What makes the 1978 Lincoln penny so special? So, you might be wondering, what makes the 1978 Lincoln penny so special that it could be worth $1.3 million? The answer lies in a rare error coin that was minted in 1978. The coin that is most sought after by collectors is a 1978 double die obverse penny. This error happens when a coin is struck more than once, and the second strike is misaligned. As a result, it causes the design elements, such as the lettering and the date, to appear doubled. In the case of the 1978 penny, the Liberty inscription and the words "In God We Trust" on the obverse are affected by this doubling. What makes the 1978 double die penny so unique is that it was not only a mistake during minting, but it's also one of the most dramatic examples of the double die error. This means that these pennies are incredibly rare and highly prized by collectors. As a result, they can fetch astronomical prices at auctions or among private collectors. A 1978 double die penny in high-grade dia, especially one with a grade of MS65 or higher, has been known to fetch as much as $1.3 million in the right circumstances. However, even those with lower grades can still be worth thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and rarity. How to identify a valuable 1978 Lincoln penny. If you think you might have a 1978 Lincoln penny that could be worth a significant amount of money, here's how you can identify it. 1. Look for doubling on the obverse. The key feature to look for is doubling on the obverse of the coin. Specifically, look at the Liberty inscription and the "In God We Trust" motto. The letters should appear to be doubled. The doubling is usually most noticeable on the lower part of the letters, but in some cases, it may also appear on the tops and sides. 2. Check the mint mark. The 1978 penny has a D mint mark located just beneath the date. If the coin is not minted in Denver, it won't be the right coin for this particular error. If you find a penny with a different mint mark or no mint mark at all, it's not the rare 1978 error you're looking for. 3. Use magnification. The doubling on a 1978 double die penny can be very subtle, so you'll likely need to use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to clearly see the error. This will help you spot the doubling more clearly, especially on the Liberty and "In God We Trust" inscriptions. 4. Inspect the condition. As with any rare coin, condition is everything. A 1978 double die penny in excellent condition will be worth far more than a heavily worn or damaged coin. Coins in mint state, meaning they have little to no wear and are in almost perfect condition, will fetch much higher prices than those that are worn down from years of circulation. How much is a 1978 Lincoln penny worth? Now that you know what makes the 1978 Lincoln penny so special, let's talk about how much it could be worth. If you have a 1978 double die penny, The value can vary significantly based on its condition and whether it has been properly graded. Here's an overview of the potential value. Standard 1978D penny. If you have a regular, circulated 1978D penny with no errors, it's worth just 1 cent. This is the most common version of the coin, and it doesn't have any unique features that would make it valuable to collectors. 1978D double die obverse penny. If you have a 1978D double die penny, the value can range widely. Most examples in average circulated condition might be worth several hundred to a few $1,000s, depending on the severity of the doubling and the overall condition of the coin. High-grade 1978D double die penny. If your coin is in excellent condition, a graded MS65 or higher, then you could be looking at a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. The highest grade 1978D double die pennies have sold for as much as $1.3 million at auction. Uncirculated condition. If your coin is still in uncirculated condition with no visible wear, it could be worth far more than a heavily circulated coin. High-quality uncirculated examples of the 1978D double die penny have sold for thousands of dollars, even if they aren't graded as highly as the most pristine examples. How to sell your 1978D Lincoln penny. If you think your 1978D Lincoln penny might be one of these valuable error coins, here are some steps to help you sell it. 1. Get your coin graded. The first step in selling your 1978D double die penny is to get it professionally graded by a trusted grading service, such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. Grading services will authenticate your coin and assess its condition, which is crucial for determining its value. 2. Research the market. It's essential to research the current market and see what similar 1978D double die pennies have sold for. This can help you set a reasonable price and understand what collectors are willing to pay for your coin. 3. Auction your coin. For high-value coins like the 1978D double die penny, auctions can be the best place to sell. Auction houses that specialize in rare coins or even online platforms like eBay are good places to list your coin. Public auctions attract serious collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for rare items. 4. Work with a reputable coin dealer. If you prefer to sell your coin privately, consider working with the reputable coin dealer who specializes in rare coins. Be sure to get multiple offers and compare prices to ensure you're getting a fair deal. Conclusion. The 1978D Lincoln penny may seem like a standard coin, but as we've discovered today, it has the potential to be worth far more than just 1 cent, especially if you have the rare double die obverse error coin. These rare and valuable pennies can sell for anywhere from a few $1,000s to an incredible $1.3 million in the right conditions. If you have a 1978D penny in your collection, it's worth taking the time to carefully inspect it. Look for the doubling on the Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions and consider getting it professionally graded to determine its true value. Thanks for watching today's video. If you've ever come across a rare coin, or if you have a 1978D penny and you want to share your discovery, drop a comment below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more coin tips and treasure hunting advice. Happy coin hunting, and good luck with your collections. End of video. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you love coins or just stumbled upon this video out of curiosity, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the history and value of one of the most fascinating coins from the 20th century, of the 1960D Lincoln penny. This little copper coin, which might seem ordinary to many, holds a story that could lead to some extraordinary surprises. In fact, some of these pennies are worth an eye-popping $1.7 million. Stick around as we explore the history, rarity, and value of this remarkable coin. The history of the 1960D Lincoln penny. To understand why the 1960D Lincoln penny is so valuable, let's first take a look at its history. The Lincoln penny, which has been in circulation since 1909, was designed by artist Victor David Brenner. The coin features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the front, with various reverses throughout the years. The reverse design underwent a major change in 1959, switching from the wheat stalks to the Lincoln Memorial to better represent the country and its heritage. In 1960, a major change occurred in the minting process that would play a key role in the coin's value. Up until that year, pennies were made primarily from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. However, in 1960, the U.S. Mint made a subtle change in the production of these coins. The 1960 penny, which was minted in Denver, was made during a time when the mint was experimenting with different methods of striking the coins. This change led to the creation of a rare and valuable error that collectors are now desperately seeking. What makes the 1960 Lincoln penny so special? The 1960 penny isn't just another coin in circulation. It became famous because of a particular die error that occurred during its minting process. This error, known as the 1960 small date and large date variety, is one of the most sought-after mistakes in U.S. coinage. Here's how it works. The 1960 Lincoln pennies were supposed to feature two different date designs. On one side, there was a large date with the numbers 1960 being larger and more spaced out, and on the other side, there was a small date where the numbers were smaller and closer together. However, due to a minting mistake, some of the 1960 pennies that were produced ended up with the small date on a die that was meant for the large date variety, causing a distinctive difference between the two. This error makes the 1960 small date penny extremely rare and valuable, with some of these coins fetching incredible amounts on the open market. As collectors seek these varieties, the 1960 small date penny, in particular, has become a centerpiece of coin collections, with prices soaring as high as $1.7 million for those in the best condition. How to identify a valuable 1960 Lincoln penny. If you have a 1960 Lincoln penny in your collection and are wondering if it could be one of these rare, high-value coins, here's how you can tell the difference between the large date and small date variety. 1. Examine the numbers. The most noticeable difference is in the date. The small date features smaller numbers, with the 6 and 0 being noticeably closer together than on the large date. On the large date, the numbers are much more spread out, especially the 6 and 0. 2. Inspect the overall design. The small date version will have a more compact and uniform design, while the large date looks more spaced out and less precise. This can be hard to spot with the naked eye, so use a magnifying glass or loupe to closely inspect the date. 3. Look for any minting flaws. The most valuable 1960 small date coins are often those that were struck with the perfect alignment of the die. Any noticeable errors, such as doubling of the numbers or imperfections, can also add to the value, but condition is key when it comes to finding a truly valuable penny. 4. Check the condition. As with most collectible coins, the condition of the penny matters a lot. A penny in mint state, meaning it has little to no wear and tear out, will be worth much more than a coin that's been heavily circulated. Coins graded MS65 or higher can sell for premium prices, especially if they have the small date variety. How much is a 1960 Lincoln penny worth? The value of a 1960 penny depends heavily on whether you have a small date or large date variety, and it also depends on the condition of the coin. Here's a breakdown. 1960 large date penny. These pennies are fairly common and are generally worth only 1 cent in good condition, though they might sell for a few dollars if they are in exceptional uncirculated condition. 1960 small date penny. Now, this is where the excitement begins. If you have a 1960 small date penny, depending on its condition, it could be worth anywhere from a few $100s to tens of thousands of dollars. Or well-preserved coins, values can easily rise into the low five figures. Top value 1960D small date penny. The highest priced 1960D small date pennies can fetch $1.7 million or even more at auction. These are the coins that have been certified in gem mint condition, graded MS65 or higher, with no signs of wear, and they represent one of the rarest and most desirable varieties for collectors. How to sell your 1960D Lincoln penny. If you think you've found a 1960D small date penny and want to sell it, here are some tips to ensure you get the best price. 1. Get your coin graded. Before you try to sell, make sure to have your coin professionally graded by a reputable service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. Grading will help confirm its authenticity and condition, and it can significantly increase its value. 2. Use online auction sites. Coins with high value, like the 1960D small date penny, often perform well at online auction sites like eBay or specialized numismatic auction houses. It's a good idea to set a reserve price, so you don't end up selling for less than you expect. 3. Contact a coin dealer. If you're looking to sell your coin quickly, a reputable coin dealer who specializes in rare coins might be a good option. Just be sure to shop around and get multiple appraisals to ensure you're getting a fair price. 4. Watch the market trends. Coin values can fluctuate depending on market demand, so it's a good idea to keep an eye on recent auction sales and trends within the coin community to understand the current value of your coin. Conclusion. The 1960D Lincoln penny may look like just another penny, but as we've discovered today, it holds a fascinating history and a real potential to be worth a lot of money. If you have one of the rare 1960D small date pennies, you might be holding onto a coin that's worth $1.7 million or more. As with any collectible, the key is identifying the right variety, checking the condition, and getting the coin professionally graded. Before you rush off to check your coin jar, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more coin tips and info, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare or valuable coin. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting. End of video.